It always comes to this. More nice shit. Hey there guys, here to do another, well, not really a tattoo progress update today actually. It's more of a tattoo progress review for the year of 2022. This year I've done a lot. It's still December as of making this video. I'm typically a few weeks ahead on these vlogs, so bear with me. This should be coming out near the beginning of January anyway. I got a lot done this year. Now, the last couple of years, I've been kind of slowing down a little bit. I've been doing 2 to 3 appointments a month instead of the 4 to, well, more like 6 to 8, and even more than that sometimes that I've been doing this year. Kind of fell into my love again for tattooing this year. Not to say that I wasn't still enjoying it, but once I really got working at the shop and in and around the tattoo industry on a daily basis, it did sort of reinvigorate whatever passion I had lost for it. It's a long road, you know. When you get tattooed so often, there's times when you don't enjoy it as much as others, and right now I'm certainly enjoying it. So with that being said, for anyone who follows this channel, you'll see I've made rapid progress or change this year. You could call it just change if you don't like the direction I'm going in. But most people will agree that where I started the year versus where I've ended up has been dramatically different. Not the least of which, I've had most of my face redone. There's still a few things I plan on doing. I plan on changing the tip of this tiara here, making it a bit darker and a little bit more pointed. That'll be coming up right away. But at the beginning of the year, I still had these little face tattoos and just the black roses and a lower extended jawline tattoo. I've had my chin touched up a few times. Since we covered the rose and the dagger, obviously we've done 2 passes of white over. These roses have had 2 passes of white and 1 pass of black done over them. Yeah, my script tattoos were realigned. Obviously, we did 8 sessions on my throat. I started out the year relining and reshading these roses that I did in 2021. We did them with dynamic black in 2021, and since my blackout was done with dynamic black, the roses weren't super clear, so we hit them again with Panthera black, and they stood out better. But since we didn't do the white right away, they were kind of fading away, so I had Terry redo one of the roses one session and the center rose, and then the other rose the next session, and we put white in them. So that was 2 more sessions. Then we did a second pass on all of that. That was another session. And then we added the thorns and stuff in there. That was another session. And then we just did the red. So that was another session. We'll most likely be hitting the red again. As time goes on, I think it's aging well-ish. It's still really, really early in, but I do think that I need to touch up the face and under the chin at least. I may do a whole pass over the whole thing just to make it a little bit more clear. And whatever I do to that background will, of course, push out the foreground. Now, with that said, also obviously did immense amount of work on my torso. Now, I'm going to put in a picture of what my torso looked like at the start of the year, because sometimes I think people take for granted all the work that was done there. I think that people don't understand, or maybe they don't care, or whatever the case. But they really just, people do not understand the amount of work that went into making the work on my torso clear and stay. At the beginning of the year, it was primarily just black on black. We hadn't got to the white on black. The white on black was always planned. There's a lot of people out there without patience that they just want like a clear white image, and they don't care about, you know, what it's going to take to get there. But But the way we wanted to do it was to ensure that there would be clarity. So that meant getting the black in, then getting the white in. And we're still going to go back potentially this year, and we're going to add color in, sort of like what we've done on my my chest, so that, and on my neck, so that everything stands apart a little bit better. My suit will primarily be continuing in color on black more than white on black. The more color we did, like we did the color in my armpits this year, those were a work in progress this time last year. Those were just black. We hadn't gotten to the white. We hadn't gotten to the color. And it took quite a bit more work to do the color in there. We had to do the black a couple more times. And now they're in there and they're good. But all of that was done. I think I probably had 7 or 8 armpit sessions this year. It could even be more than that. If I look through my vlogs, since I detailed every session I had this year, you will count no fewer than 7 or 8 armpit sessions, I guarantee it. And that's just this year. So, in terms of other crazy things that most people don't want to do, I had my belly button blacked out for the 5th time at the start of the year. We did that with Gloom Black, and I had Kevin, the co-host of Remy Reacts, stretch my belly button out, and Rick saturated it as much as he's ever, because my belly button has of course been pierced so many times and tattooed so many times that there's a lot of scar tissue in there, probably from weight gain and weight loss. I've gained some scar tissue as well. Anytime you're saturating over scar tissue, especially in an area you can't even see, good luck. I probably still need to do another pass on my belly button, but that's just because I'm a perfectionist. I could have left that alone quite a while ago, and most people would have. There's a lot of people out there, for example, who'll get their arm blacked out. It'll be all patchy, or they'll have spots all over it, and they'll be like, yeah, I got a 1-pass blackout, just living in denial. It doesn't happen. If you want solid black, a lot of times you have to do it more than once. So with that said, another thing that I hit again this year was I had my nipples pierced in February and blacked out again in, was it April or May? When I pierced my nipples, they lightened up a whole bunch. It was one of my biggest irks this year, especially with my track record of calling out people who don't tattoo their nipples. Yeah, my nipples were going beige again on me. It was really, really irritating. So I had to take out those piercings and hit them again. It wasn't a want, it was a need. I had to. There was a period of time where they were, you know, the darkest thing on my suit. Now, unfortunately, they've lightened up a little bit. And there's some places that I can still see that I would like to hit again. Because, again, I'm a perfectionist. Most people would be cool with it. Most people would have been cool with it after once. This was my 7th time doing them, and it was also the longest amount of time I've spent on my nipples. We did about half an hour on them. So Rick attacked those little buggers from every possible angle to try and make sure that they were completely solid saturated. So one thing people have asked me a lot about this year is I've gained about 45 pounds. It's been good weight as far as I'm concerned. I'm not saying it's all muscle. There's likely some water weight and some fat in there. Whenever you gain a lot quick, it can't all be muscle. People have asked me how that's affected my tattoos, if it's changed them at all. I think, if anything, there's maybe a few spots on my arms that weren't visible before. That would be about the only thing. I haven't noticed anywhere else that it's changed, but I think through my lats, my shoulders, and my arms have been where I've grown the most, in my chest. The only places that I've noticed like any kind of spottiness or any change at all has been my arms. There's a few spots that they have a little bit of more of a shine to them than they once did, and I think that's probably some effect of the skin stretching and revealing some areas that weren't perfect saturation. And that's right, even after I've had my arms done between 4 and 6 times, probably some of the most blackout sessions anyone's ever had on their arms, my arms still, I don't think, are perfect. Like, they could be better. It could always be better, though. You drive yourself crazy with that. For me, that's not such a big deal because within the year I'll be doing my sleeves anyway, at least one of them. I can make a pretty well guarantee now that by the end of 2023, I will have at least one of my sleeves complete, and I'll probably be somewhere on the other one. Part of that is there just isn't much left to do before we go there. I think probably within a few months of now, we'll be working on my sleeves. I don't know whether or not, I'm pretty sure I'm going to leave the color on my torso until after I do one of my sleeves. But I just don't think that there's many balls left in the air for me before I hit my sleeves, and I really wanted to wait until I finished my torso to do those because I wanted to learn so much about what we were doing before I hit them. Now they'll be continuing much like my chest piece. They'll be more full color, but I have a feeling that by the time I get through that, the association with blackout tattoos is pretty well going to be done for me. I don't think that if you see me with a full color blackout sleeve, basically full color neck, full color chest piece, and it is standing out from afar, I think there's no more blackout tattoo then, and I think it gets really confusing for people. Already people don't understand how I did this neck tattoo. I wasn't even concerned with it because if it didn't work, it was like whatever. But already it's been confusing for some people. So I think 2023 is going to be a very productive year. I think it's going to be even more dramatic than 2022 because this thing seems to get faster and more insane as I do it. So basically we're pissing around a lot less, Rick and I. Terry is just basically being instructed by what Rick and I are doing, and so now I have a pretty well-oiled machine that's kind of getting shit done in a way that will last from the get-go. Whereas when we started this project back in 2020, it was a lot of, will this work? Can we do this? There's no information on it. I'm confident that these vlogs have been the most information on multi-layer bodysuits that exists. I've never seen anyone else talk about it in detail. Even when you do see the odd piece, it's always just, oh yeah, I did this cool thing. And then everybody's like, how? And there's no answers. So I think that these vlogs have filled in a gap there for anyone interested in that. I think that over the next year, especially because for so many people, tattoos are only sleeves. Like, so many people only get their sleeve tattoos. So many people don't get full torso work. So for a lot of people, seeing my full torso project is like, whatever. He's got black arms, though. If he's got black arms, it's barely a tattoo. Something like that. Those people will go away too soon. Once my arms are tattooed the way that my torso is, those people won't exist anymore. And they probably won't even recognize that there was ever a blackout underneath. Because there's going to be so much detail that you can't do detail in blackout, right? Anyway, 2023 is going to be an even crazier year than 2022. And in 2022, I probably put in over 200 hours of tattooing. There were some weeks when I did nearly 10 hours. Some weeks when I only did 2. But for me, it's just always about chipping away. It's not about like sprinting. It's always going to be a marathon. I think I'm probably going to get tattooed even more in 2023. I've got some big projects coming up. I'm going to finally fix my fingers up quite a bit more. They're going to be quite a bit better this year. I'm going to be blacking out my back. We're going to do that in a few sessions. And obviously I'm going to be doing my sleeves, so at least one of them. Finishing the chest piece and probably some more reworks of the face as well. So there's going to be a lot to look forward to. Again, all my fitness goals are carrying on. I plan on, I went up about 45 pounds this year. I'd like to go another 20 pounds. I'd like to be about 215, 210, and then just work on, refining. I don't think I want to get much bigger than that. But starting the year, I was only just below 150, so I've come a long way. It's all just disciplined and keeping at it and not getting bogged down and not seeing change the next day. You just keep chipping away at it, and you'll get there one day. Anyway, a bit ranty today. Just kind of wanted to review some of my progress from the last year, and lots more to come. So I'll talk to you guys again soon.